Honey, what are you trying to get a Program.
Hello, my name is Michael Randolph. I'll be presenting the most recent initiative in West Tampa. This initiative came into play as a result of over 2 years of community meetings and focus groups to get community input as to what are the community priorities. Based on that information, the following 4 priorities have been documented. The first is gentrification. Second is crime. The third is community economic development that leads to living wages jobs and both individual and community wealth. The fourth, and this is important concern in the community, was technology. The West Tampa CDC Technology, Wealth Building, and Job Curation Initiative was our response to meeting those 4 core concerns in the community. This video that's coming up is going to express the fears throughout West Tampa, but the fears throughout most poor communities where you have residents, specifically residents who are renters, and fear of being gentrified from their community. So we're hearing from the mouth of Ms. White, just to put context to why what we do is so important.
Search viruses and try to understand whether those viruses.
I'm with Ms. White today, and we're going through West Tampa. As you can see,
Ross Avenue and Highland.
So what is happening in your community, Ms. White? What's going on with all these buildings coming up?
There's a lot of
Region which may have surpassed a record.
construction, and investors have bought into this area. They're doing from a Heights Union building. They have produce markets.
Is that gentrification is taking place, and that's why we're really critical about making change in West Tampa. Just let me give you some numbers. Right now in West Tampa, that's over 60% of people in West Tampa, they actually rent.
What sets it apart from
When you look at that number right there,
is that
the average rent, the average salary in West Tampa is $19,000. That means that person can only afford a unit for
The entire senior year.
$500 plus, although the average unit in West Tampa is $700.
They won't be able to stay over here.
That means that 60% of the people in West Tampa won't be here in the next 4 to 5 years.
No, because they're buying out.
They buying out everything in West Tampa. This is what we call gentrification. On another note, we got a big major meeting coming up on March the 31st at the West Tampa Library to talk about the gentrification that's going on in West Tampa and how we solve this problem.
And restructure.
11th New Hampshire holds.
So, Ms. White, in essence, and I want the people who's listening to Facebook to understand this. In essence, the friend that you know right now, or you might not be here in 4 to 5 years.
Now that they can use a strategy tactics to move you, because I've gotten up to 8 letters. I've gotten a picture of my own house 2 or 3 different times. And they want to buy it as it is and such. And I said, said, well, where am I going? I need a place to live.
And that's going throughout West Tampa, folks. As you see, all of this construction that's going up, people are being missed out. And the area that we're talking about was the CRA area. 62% of people are African Americans.
Late on Thursday, the Iowa Democratic Party released the...
So it's important that you come out and be part
judge narrowly bested
of these meetings and the strategy. We put together a 5-year plan to talk about how can we begin to raise people out of their current situation so they can live in the West Tampa community. How do we build that skill set to make sure people are not gentrified out of the community? Anything else, Ms. White?
Right again.
Yes, I want to take you now on Ross Avenue. Yes, I want to take you now on Ross Avenue,
Okay.
where I live. So these are the houses and the inhabitants of people that are living there who have been personally harassed. Because I think when I started to get all of these letters and pictures of the house, I guess they went on Facebook or someplace and found pictures of the places because they've been taking pictures forever of all this area.
And this is going on in West Tampa as we speak.
Yes, it
I'm going to
is.
start with you.
Our task from the community was to create a low location-based economic driver for West Tampa. This is a national approach to reducing gentrification and increasing public safety. What does success look like? Well, within the next 5 years, we plan to work with 50 to 70 new businesses, resident-owned businesses, that's going to create between 75 to 100 local jobs. We plan to provide technical support to 50 to 60 businesses, and between 200 and 300 residents will benefit from technology training. Our Business Incubator Center will serve 40 to 50 businesses. 60 to 100 low-income young adults will be connected to careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. From 100 to 350, low-income residents will move from a consumer mentality to an investor mentality. What are our key goals? Well, first, we want to reduce gentrification by improving the workforce. That is, we want to increase the earning potential of residents by improving their skill sets. Next, we want to enhance public safety using an economic development approach that deters crime by creating opportunity that remove barriers and increase hope. We want to increase opportunity for resident-owned business. In other words, building wealth in poor communities. We want to increase the community understanding of investment. That is by moving them from a street mindset to a Wall Street mindset. Investment, starting at age 9. The other goal is to increase community wealth. And this one is one of the key. Improve technology opportunities for residents. Increase earned income and narrow the digital divide. Without technology, without an understanding of how to use it in such a way to transform communities, there is a disconnect. And that's why this focus on technology and the other things that we talked about are so important based on what we got from the community. Okay, let's move to the next section. So how do we become financially self-sufficient? Earn income. Below are the 6 revenue diversification strategies that we have put into place in order to get us closer and closer towards financial dependency. Each of the programs that you want to hear about are going to be financially independent in 3 to 5 years by generating revenue through business ventures and corporate partners. And these partners include lenders, investors, tech companies, public subsidies, etc. Technology is the future. And unless we prepare those who live in, especially poor communities, prepare them in order to benefit from technology, we could lose, and we are losing, generations. Our Tech and STEM Center will do the following. The first is to provide training to residents like in coding, mobile application, software development, web development, game application, and artificial intelligence. Again, this is coming into play as a result of partnership with the tech communities. The second part of the center is to increase the number of minorities, especially the young, to go into science, technology, engineering, and math. And the last part of this particular center is to reduce the digital divide in the community. We also think that in addition to improving a person's income, this can be used as a strategy in conjunction with our public safety strategy to give people reasons to connect into opportunities that can uplift them from the streets. Program, Performing Art and Production Center, we think goes to the core of our slogan, a hip-hop approach to reducing crime. What the research shows is that those individuals that are hanging on those street corners, if given the opportunity to create their own video, TV production, recording, entertainment center, art center, that they would choose this over the streets, hanging in the streets. Now, we call it reducing crime by enticing those at risk to lay down the weapon and take the microphone. This is going to be one of the highest performing business renters that we take on. The next program is the Business Development Center. The focus here is to create individual wealth by assisting residents in starting their own business. That's the primary focus. But the focus also is using business development as an opportunity to remove barriers from those that have criminal records, those who are dealing with little skills, those who are disabled, and others who have been locked out of making a decent wage. For that population, this gives them an opportunity by starting their own business to overcome those barriers and make a decent income. Again, we can't overemphasize increased individual wealth. While generally we're going to focus on anybody who has a barrier to getting that making good income, we're also going to have a focus on home-based businesses because we realize there are a lot of, especially African-American single moms in the community that are either not making enough or are barely making it all together. And they don't have daycare. This focus on home-based businesses focus on single females that starting their own home-based business using e-commerce and social media. There's a lot of money to be made out there, anywhere from drop shopping onto other strategies in order to create business opportunities at home. And the only thing that person would need would be the internet and a computer. And then finally, we want to make sure that we're able to seal the deal by partnering with, again, financial institutions to provide the microloans necessary to start the business. It becomes a win-win situation in economic development and job creation. Notice, for every business that we assist in getting started, there's potential of up to 3 employees being hired. So this becomes a job creation mechanism. So let's move to the next section. Program is the Business Incubator Center. This is where we focus on working with those who have either e-commerce or social media type of business to provide them with technical support. Our Community Wealth Center, which is key to what we call poor people because poor people spend poorly. This Community Wealth Center focuses on moving residents from a consumer mentality to an investor mentality, starting at age 9, to create a whole new generation of understanding wealth and generating passive income. And it's going to be an in-depth workshop on understanding investment and building foundations for good investment and experts from around the country by way of YouTube and other mechanisms of finding information on the internet will give advice. And then finally, there's the enterprise, social enterprise for West Tampa CDC. And that is creating 3 community businesses that's going to create 6 to 15 new jobs created within the next 3 to 5 years. This is what we call community wealth. Based on a feasibility study, we identified the 3 top gross income generating businesses potential in the West Tampa community.
Okay.
So, where do we go from here? Right now, we're talking with investors, lenders, grantors, and other financial sources from around the country that are seeking out projects that create wealth, reduce gentrification, and address the impact of systemic racism.